All right, we're doing an unboxing of the Pitbull spooled forward handle rear motorcycle stand. This is an awesome stand. Pitbull makes arguably the best stand in the business. They do a great job. We've been using Pitbull stands for 20 plus years. We still have the same Pitbull stands we had 20 years ago. So it's a quality product. You're gonna buy yourself a stand and you're never gonna buy another one again unless you continue buying more motorcycles. This is part number F0043-000, spooled forward handle rear motorcycle stand. They do a good job wrapping this. This is going to take a second to unwrap. All right, beautiful gold color like all Pitbull stands. There's some instructions down here. How to use it, how to lift it. We'll show you guys how to do that. There's the standard rubber pads. Then they also have the spooled versions. You can see there's no connector on this yet. We'll be installing that. We're gonna run with the spooled versions. We like the spooled versions. They're a little more secure. You don't worry about anything slipping. Some of the bikes, for instance, we have a Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled. We use that one with the rear swing arm lifts, but we prefer the spools. And these are the spool. So we're gonna put these on. You're gonna want the longer side to go towards the front, though either way, it works. This is pretty simple. Take off these two Allens. Everything with Pitbull is quality. The bolts here, the double washer, everything is in the same finish. I'm gonna stick that on. Just put that right back in. We'll do one at a time here. And we'll use a hex or an Allen to tighten that in. There's one. Other side. Same way. Pitbull does a great job here on these bolts. You can see they even knurl these little lines on the end of these, so that doing it by hand is pretty simple as well. Though again, we're lifting a 400, 500, 600 pound motorcycle, depending on what you're lifting. We're gonna want to make sure that we tighten those down. We got a 6mm hex. You can do this with a T-handle, you could do this with the bar. We're doing it. You want to get about even spacing. You can use fingers for that. We're gonna just go like that, one little pinky space off on the top. Again, you can adjust these depending on how high you want that rear tire up. If it's not high enough, the rear tire is gonna hit the bottom and it's not gonna spin freely. Too high, just gonna take a little more leverage to get it off the ground. But you can't really have it too high as long as you don't mind putting a little bit more into it. So we do that side. We'll adjust this side the same. Do about a 1 finger gap. Hand tighten. And then tighten down. Again, 6mm hex. Yep, that's nice and tight, and that is nice and tight. All right, so now we're assembled. Now we fit it to the bike. So what's nice about the new Pitbull stands, different than the ones back in the day, 5, 10 years ago, is they now come with these nice finger adjusters. If you have an older Pitbull stand, you can actually just purchase that piece. Instead of having to use a socket, you can make the adjustment just by hand here. This isn't taking the weight, these holders are. So doing these by hand is good enough. You don't need to socket them down. And what we got to do here is you can loosen them. You can see that they slide so that we can line it up with the width of the motorcycle. What's also great is when you have a Pitbull stand like this with spool bikes, You can use it and change it for different motorcycles with different rear swing arm widths just by adjusting it. I like to just put a little black line on them when I'm using stands for multiple bikes. Though lately we've just purchased a stand for each bike to keep it nice and simple. So if you're doing this by yourself, what you want to do is you want to line up these. So you're going to adjust it, get one side, get the other. Make sure that they're lined up, about equal spacing on each side. That's looking good. Right about there. Great. Then you're just going to kind of hold those in place, set it down. You'll see that we have about equal spacing on each side. And then we're going to tighten them just with the finger adjuster until it tightens down. Great, there's one. There's our other side. We tighten it down. Two. We'll double check again just by taking the stand, lifting it up, making sure it fits nicely in the center of those two spools. That one fits nice. Oh, you can see here that our tires touching. See that? There's no gap there. So we go onto the spools and our tire's touching. This has a nice sized tire on it. So we're actually now gonna take it back to the bench. Now that we know that these are fixed and nice and tight, but we're gonna take these guys and raise them up a little bit higher so we have some nice free tire. Why do we want the tire to be free? When we're cleaning, we can put it in neutral. We can just spin the rear tire. Makes it super easy. Again, super easy adjustment. So back up, we grab that 6, loosen those up, and we'll take it up higher. And this time, we'll do about I think it's worth right there. Tighten that back down. Same with the other side. And then tightening those back down. Again, this is what's holding the weight of the bike. Nice and tight. Go back. So we've got those tightened up. We raised them to get some tire clearance. We'll come and check. And make sure that they fit on the spools. They fit nice right there in the center of the spools. And here you can see that now we have some gap. You can see my fingers in between. You know, maybe we got about 5/8 right there. That's plenty of space for our rear tire to swing freely. So, how to use a pit bull stand. We've got the bike on its side stand. What we really like about this stand is it allows you to use it both ways. Traditional rear stands you would use from the rear, and when doing with one person, it looks something like this. You're gonna stand the bike up. You're gonna be careful not to go too far because you don't want your bike to fall down. We always like to keep the rear stand down, so you can always set it back down. You're gonna set the bike up, straight up and down, holding it in this case with the left hand, getting the stand, putting it underneath the spools, nestle it in there just like that. And then while we're holding the bike, we have our right hand on the handle, and we're just gonna push straight down, lift the bike up. Got a nice free-flowing rear wheel there. And you can see we're on the spools here, and on this side, we have the handle towards the rear. That gives us a lot of openness here as we're working on exhaust. We'll be doing that Akrapovic exhaust install. Just a lot of room in here, handle towards the back. Some people don't feel as comfortable holding this bike up from the back, and we'll take it off same way. Hand on the tail. I like to have my hand either here or like this, but you want to have a nice grip on the bike. The worst case scenario, bike falls to the right, no kickstand. Bike falls to the left a little bit, not a problem, you got a kickstand. But we don't want the bike to fall at all. We're gonna get in, again, come down, grab it with our right hand, come up, set the bike down, and guide it over to its kickstand. That's using a pit bull with the rear. Sometimes these will have a center handle, use it the same way. What is so awesome about this particular stand is it allows you to also do it from the inside, the center of the bike. And this just gives people a lot more confidence with these stands. One is, I can now take my left hand and you put it on this grip. I have great control with the bike here. There is no chance the bike's gonna fall over that way. I got my hand on the handle grip. And I got it right in here. So a little more secure grip. I'm now gonna slide the stand under the bike. Same procedure. I'm coming up and I'm getting them right on those spools, just like so. And then from here, just like from the back, I'm pushing straight down, just like that. Still have perfect clearance in the back. And now I've been able to do all of that right here in the center of the bike where I feel super comfortable. What's also nice about doing it this way, especially if you're in a garage, is you don't have a handle sticking out in the back. So walking around the back of the bike, you're not gonna trip. No kind of obstacles or hindrances that way. Similar, we like to leave the kickstand down always, just so if you ever come up and forget, you don't set the bike over, forget there's not a kickstand there, so leave the kickstand down. Left hand on the grip there, right hand with the stand. You pick it up. You can either leave it there at the time, or I like to slide it away. Visually check the kickstand, set the bike down. These pit-bull stands are absolutely fantastic. Best quality in the industry. They'll last you a lifetime. And they're really indispensable when you're cleaning the bike, lubing chains, any type of maintenance, checking brake pads, putting on exhaust aftermarket parts, and just keeping the bike standing up straight and taking up less space in the garage. Highly, highly recommend the pit-bull stands.